Well, another glorious day and another mulching project. So this is today's project. We are going to be mulching back this little tree line right here about to where that oak tree is. Right there is what we're going to be doing. So that's pretty much it. We're just gonna, there's like an embankment here and it tops right about where that oak is. So we're just going to try to do the best we can on this little embankment here. I'm probably going to come up with the blade behind me out here at the street so I can kind of level up a little bit and work my way up this embankment. I should be able to reach most of it though. I shouldn't have to travel too far up there, but you can see it's pretty tight in here between some of these trees. So I'm going to go to about this corner where that big tree right there is. So, and then we got this over here. We'll walk over here and I'll show you guys that as well. So the second thing on the list today is to shave all of this back about flush with this fence through here and just trim it back. And that's all there really is to it. So this should be pretty easy. We just got to watch out for the street down there, but other than that, it should be a pretty simple little deal. We may have one other thing to do today. There's like 3 things on the list today. Is this, that tree line over there, and then there's a little section back over here in this campground that the owner wants to do as well, behind the little house that's in there, and we'll see if we can get over there to that today as well. I kind of wanted to do that last maybe, because I don't want to be in there at 8 o'clock this morning, because that mulcher makes a lot of noise and I didn't want to wake anybody up at 8 a.m. So it's about 9 right now, so 9:15. So okay, we should be able to get this started. I got the teeth sharpened this morning and been running this head on some of these jobs. Like yesterday, a lot of that stuff was like pretty small stuff in there yesterday, and I've been running the head on with the machine at about 80% throttle because it's a little more efficient for the machine, and so it's probably running about 16 gallons a minute, and it's really working well at that flow rate. I only have to really crank it up if I'm doing like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 inch material, and it definitely doesn't throw as bad either when I'm running it a little lower. So 80-85% throttle, and it seems to do very well. It doesn't stress the machine as much, and it's definitely a little more efficient, especially with the fuel. So, and it spins the head fine. The recovery is actually a little quicker, I think, with it at that rate. So it seems to do really well. So most of that stuff in there is pretty small, a lot of vines and like kudzu and stuff, a few trees, but they don't seem to be that big. So let's get to it. All right, so that cleaned up pretty good, and I'll come back around with the client and make sure he's good with everything. If he wants me to touch anything up, like in between those trees or whatnot. I don't know if this is what he's looking for or not. He didn't want to go all the way to the fence. He wanted to leave some stuff there for privacy. So I tried to do that as best I could. And some places just really couldn't quite get to, like kind of right behind there, but it's pretty close. I tried to get as many of these vines as I could, but they were just so, you know, thin and wispy that it was just kind of hard to get them and get the teeth to bite into them to cut them. And I'm so far down, like down here, I don't have enough, like, because I'm down here and this goes up. Maybe I could come around from the back and maybe get some if I could reach them. I think I might cut some of them by hand. I might try to do that. But got the street blown off, cleaned up, and everything looks good. I think the property line is about where that big oak is, right there. So I kind of stopped right about there. So that looks pretty good. So, but if he wants me to cut anything else or touch anything up or take it further back, we can do that. It's always good to play it a little cautious when people want you to leave stuff, because once you cut it, you can't bring it back. It's not like dirt. It's not like you can, you know, you over dig something, you can put some more dirt back. You know, once you cut something and mulch it down, it's, you know, it might be a while before it grows back. So yeah, this looks good. And while we're waiting on the client to come by, we'll go down here and get started with this. Okay, so that's that with that. And the client came by about the front over there as well. He told me not to mess with the vines. And the story with this is, I didn't really get the story when I first came by here to look at this job, but the story is really has to do with this church right here. And the church asked the client to cut this back because there were some homeless people living in here, and they wanted to have just kind of this just shaved back a little bit, so there'd still be the privacy here, but they could see through here. Before, there was so much overhang and stuff you couldn't see through here. You can see there's like a trail through there. So they were in here, so now you still got some privacy, but you got a lot of visibility to see through here. So they wanted this shaved back, and on the front over there, they were seeing snakes and stuff. They were concerned about snakes in that brush. They had been, I guess, people were lining up their cars right there on the end of the road there, parking or whatnot, and they were getting out. They were seeing snakes and stuff, and they were just a little concerned about visibility with that. So that's why they wanted that shaved back. So the vines weren't really a big deal there. So he told me not to worry about it. Everything looked good. And this turned out really good in here as well. So we got one more thing to go look at. It's tight. We're going to be working behind a little house next to like a pond, lake kind of thing, and it's really overgrown. And basically my deal in there is to take this thing in there and just kind of clear as much as I can, so they don't have to clear as much by hand. So I'm not really going to be doing any hand work. They have some maintenance guys that's going to do the hand work. They just want me to try to knock out what I can with this thing. So that's what we're going to look to do. So I'm going to throw this thing back on the trailer. We're going to drive around into that campground, and go see what we got. So yeah, I don't this is going to be tight in here, fellas. I don't even know if I can get through here halfway. I told him I would try, but I got a gas tank here, I got utilities here, and I got this. So they kind of want to leave some of the trees for shade. They don't want everything gone, but they want all this kind of stuff underneath here gone. And it's like, it's all, you almost can't get to it. I'm gonna try to just stick the head down in there, see what I can get in there, try to stick it in there. I'll probably have to take that branch down. We'll see if we can't squeeze through here and try to take out some of that as well. This is gonna get a little hairy. I'm gonna give it a go for a minute and see what we can do. Well, that didn't really go all that great. I got some stuff in here done. Was able to get that little thing right there done, but I couldn't. That was about as far as I could reach. And I couldn't make my way down this path because that tree was blocking me with the blade. So that was about as far as I could go clearing that. I got a little bit, I couldn't really get the head in there because this tree, the way it kind of cocks out that way, was blocking the arm from going in. So I got some of this cleaned up right here. I got that branch cut that was coming off, I think somewhere right there. I got it cut and mulched down. And got some of this cleaned up. There was some wisteria in right here, man. I hate wisteria. And got a little wrapped up around the mulcher. A vine did, no big deal there, and just pulled it out. But there was just no way to get in here and make this turn and go in here, because they want to save some of these trees because they make nice shade, but I just can't get to them. I can't get in here and make that turn. And they want to save this tree. So, and it's too big to mulch anyway. That's a little bit too big. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a mess. Though a good tree crew in here for like a day with some chainsaws and pole saws and a chipper would probably make pretty quick work of this. So maybe a small mini excavator to help them kind of, after they cut it, just pick it up and pull it out. A little 2.5 to 3.5 ton would be perfect in here. My U55 is just a little bit big, but a little 2.5 or 3.5 ton mini, as they're chopping stuff down, they're raking it out, picking it up, taking it out to the chipper or a dump trailer, one or the other. That would work pretty good in here. That's probably a day's worth of work for a good experienced crew. Got a good number of guys. So, but yeah, they want to open this up to kind of come down to this pond down in here. Kind of see how it's, like over here is a good example. See how this is open kind of through here. But you know, these trees, these are the same kinds of trees. They're still here, and they make a nice kind of canopy and a shade in here. and it's just a nice look. It's a nice natural look. You know, they don't want everything bare, so I told them I would do what I could. It's just a little bit tight. So, well, all you can do is all you can do. So, hey, we're gonna have the maintenance guys come in here and try to do it by hand. That would be a job, but yep. So that's that. I'm gonna pretty much just wrap this thing up and get out of here. I gotta got something stuck up in there. I'll get that out. There's always something getting stuck up in these arms or something, it seems like. So yeah, here's that with some of that with like shavings off that wisteria. I cut some of that with the MTL about 2 months ago, and man, that stuff, a rotary head, like a bush hog head and wisteria, don't mix. I don't care how sharp the blades are. I must have gotten that stuff wrapped up around the MTL head like, geez, I think 10 times in about an hour. I think the worst, it took me about 15 minutes to get one of them out. I mean, it was just wrapped up in there. Oh, it was horrible. So this thing did pretty good against that wisteria though. It only got one little piece about 3 to 4 feet long wrapped up in there. It wasn't bad. But all right, well, all we can do is all we can do. So I'm gonna load this thing up, and that's pretty much the job for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I got a ditch cutting to go do, a small ditch cutting job to go do tomorrow with the MTL. So we'll go back to the office and get ready for that for tomorrow and see what we can do. Tomorrow's Friday, which means nothing to me because I work weekends anyway. All right, guys, I'll check you later.